Welcome to another edition of the McAnulty Method, where financial expert Frank McAnulty and Colin Sorrells share their financial wisdom with us so that we might live a little bit better financial life. Welcome, gentlemen.
How you
Good to be
doing?
here again, Bill.
The last couple of episodes that we've had, Frankie told us about something that all you have to do is do it 8 times and you become a multimillionaire. And we also talked about how it's how you can invest in real estate as a poor college student. But even that, both of these take a little bit of money. So, Colin, I want to ask you today, what are some easy ways that a college student or young adult can save some money?
Well, as the resident broke college student on this show, um, there's a lot of ways that over the years I've kind of learned through trial and error that would have saved me hundreds of dollars in a month. And you start thinking over 4 years, you're probably 10,000 into that 25,000 before you even have your first real nice paying job. So we'll give a couple of them here today. And the first one is understanding where you live and the cost of living on campus versus in the city. I always have this debate with my friend because I go to school in Southern California where living on campus might be about the best deal in Southern California. For $1,500 a month, you're probably not going to get 3 meals a day every day of the week, your electricity and your utilities, and a place to live and the internet and all that taken care of for $1,500. Frank, you live in Southern California. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you're going to get a much better deal than that.
No, you're not. I've talked to people all the time about what rents are around here, and that's just painful.
Yeah. Then this is where it requires some research on the individual's part. I always have this debate. My best friend who goes to school in Oklahoma, where living on campus might be the most expensive place potentially in the state to live. And that's true if you go to a lot of these sort of rural sort of areas, the most expensive place to live on campus is, or in the state, is on campus. They're $1,500 a month for the same deal. They can go get a 5-bedroom, 2-story house, split it with your 5 friends for $2,000 a month. So now you're only paying $400, and you throw in utilities and all that, and you're probably still only paying half of what you would pay on campus. And so you think that's right off the bat probably an easy way to save 5, 6, 7, $800 even a month as a college student. And you take that out over a year, that's thousands of dollars that you could put towards your 25 grand.
And Colin, the important part of that though is just because you're saving it on rent, you need to save it and put it away. You can't
Absolutely.
just so if I got more money, I can
Don't
go
go
out to
buy a
eat
new
every night.
car. Don't do that.
Right.
So that's one really easy way to save a lot of money. And that's probably where you're going to save the most amount of money. But another, just in general, whether you're in college, young adult, well documented way to save a lot of money is don't eat out. Buy groceries. I am just, it kills me every time I see somebody pay $5, $6 for a burger. And I say, you could go to the store, you get a pound of ground meat, 6 buns, and cheese slices for $10 and make 6 of those burgers for yourself. But you're going to go pay somebody to make it for you. Now I understand as a college student, it works a little differently. If you're forced to have a meal plan, go with that. Anyway, in that situation, you're saving money altogether. But if you're living off campus because you just want to live off campus or you're just out of college at your first place, that's an easy way. From personal experience, it's very easy to rack up 200 dollar grocery bill. So you have to be careful about that. But you think if I'm paying $6 to $10 per meal from a takeout place 3 times a day, 7 days a week, kind of thing, you're going to easily be spending three, four, $500. So that's not to say never eat out, but you know, go research it. People have done lots of studies on this and shown that preparing your food and buying groceries and making it yourself saves you a lot of money in the long run.
I think Frank has even mentioned several times you can save a little money by making your own coffee.
That was a famous book. What was it? If you saved the $5 you spent on coffee a day, you'd be a millionaire by, oh gosh, after 40 years.
Sure. It's all about, you're right. It's all about developing habits. It's real easy to get in the habit of, well, I'll buy something on the way to school. I'll grab something at lunch. I'm busy. I've got to get something. And you're right. So I don't buy a lot of fast food, but I know, for the most part, $10 is not hard to spend for lunch for a place, and that's $50 a week. And you add in dinner at $15-20, and now you're up to $100 a week, $150. It adds up quite a bit.
It's habits, and it's keeping, thinking bigger picture, because it's easy for us, $10 here, we don't really think about $10 there, all adds up in the end.
Back to your idea of, the house with the 5 people in it, you could almost treat it like a firehouse. Okay, every day somebody's responsible for food. Who's responsible for food this day? And let's face it, none of that food you're buying at a fast food place is good for you.
Yeah. Well, those two I think are, something to look into, do your research on. Like I said, it's very situational, especially with the housing thing, but they are a little more well known. I think something that's, my last one here for today that's a little less well known that I found out was when I had to go buy car insurance for the first time. College students love to have their cars on campus. The first thing is, if you're in a city and you have a good public transportation system, don't drive a car. It's the easiest way to save money. But, I understand with C-19, and some people just have to have a car because I have to have that freedom to go where I want when I want to go. Fine. If that's how you are, that's okay. But if you're the one insuring the car, think about how many miles you're driving, right? I thought when I got car insurance, the most expensive part was going to be comprehensive. Now, granted, I don't drive a new $30,000 Mercedes, so comprehensive wasn't too expensive for me. But the most expensive part in your car insurance is the miles you're going to drive, right? There's the logic that more miles you drive, more likely you are to get in an accident, more likely we are to have to pay on it. And I think the difference, originally I said, 5,000 miles, and then I settled on about 10, and that's a $50, $60, $70 difference every month that I would have to pay them for that time, So, think about over the course of a year, you're probably saving $500, $600, $700, maybe $1,000, I don't know. And I go back to, we went to school, I went to school in Long Beach, nice city. You're on campus. There's shopping centers everywhere. So your job's probably pretty close to you. Mine was 2-3 miles away. And I was doing the math, and I'm sitting here, and you want to give yourself some leeway in case you have to make an emergency trip. But I'm saying I've probably driven 500 miles in 2.5 months. I'm on pace to drive about 3,000 miles for the year. And I'm paying as if I'm driving 9,000 to 10,000 miles. Now, I like to go off the beaten path, go camping, do all that. But I'm going to have a hard time finding 6,000 miles to drive. And, like I said, over the course of a year, that's $500-$600 that you can save easily.
It's you make a great point. And I know more and more people that, especially young people, who are just saying, I don't really want a car. I don't need it. However, and maybe this might be a topic for another time about unnecessary expenses. Ride services like Uber and Lyft seem to be getting more and more expensive. So you can think about that when you're just adding up all those tiny things that siphon off your money.
That'd be a great topic for another time.
Right. Once again, it just comes down to habits. Building the right habits now, and they'll serve you for the rest of your life.
Habits and a little bit of research. take a little bit of time to think about it before you start spending your money.